This is News 8 Now, This Morning.
The number one reaction that I get when I'm out on the parade route was, Tim, thank you for running. I am so ready for a change. I don't like the direction of government. I don't like our current governor. He's a weak leader. I'm ready for strong leadership.
People in Wisconsin, time after time, have indicated via poll that, and referendum that they've had locally that they want recreational marijuana. I'd like to see it used for a couple ways. One, to be able to help beef up our efforts around mental health in the state of Wisconsin, and that would be an ongoing activity.
I just hope I can be as great as the other Mrs. O's. There's some amazing women that go before me.
Well, happy post-Oktoberfest Monday. Hope everybody is well recovered. I imagine we're going to have some productive workers today with the Packers win yesterday.
Yeah, that
narrowly.
Man. Wow, what a game, I got to say. I know Jordan was on the edge of his seat. I was thinking about him the whole time.
I would have needed therapy if we would have lost yesterday.
But now you don't need it because they won, so.
All good there.
A win is a win.
Weather-wise, great weekend across the board. No issues.
Exactly. And, you know, I think we're going to continue where we left off this weekend here, Jordan, so that's good news. No frost or freeze alerts to share with you this morning. That could change, though, by the end of the week. We'll talk about that later. But first, as you head out the door, we're into the 40s and 50s this morning. In fact, here in La Crosse, it's a bit warm at 53 compared to where some other spots are, like Sparta. You're currently at 49 degrees. And meanwhile, if you look further east in Volkfield, you're currently at 46. Meanwhile, here to the north in Eau Claire, you're much warmer than that at 55 degrees. City Cam 8 to looking quiet here this morning, but we will expect some clouds here to develop later in the day. And as of right now, we're actually seeing this move across the satellite and radar picture with some of those clouds, with a couple of light spotty sprinkles and some light heavier showers as well. We'll be looking at those partly cloudy conditions throughout the day. Notice how our temperatures start to warm up into the 60s here as we get closer towards the late morning into the early afternoon. And then you can see warming up into the low 70s between 3 and 5 while still remaining partly cloudy. Now, as far as your allergy forecast for today, ragweed and weeds are low, mold is high, and everything is the same as we head into the day tomorrow. But the good news is here, Jordan, that the allergy season is coming to a close. I'll be back with your schoolcast next in weather.
And us allergy sufferers are happy about that. Thanks a lot, Derek. Well, this year marks the 61st La Crosse Oktoberfest. Thousands of eager fest goers rush to the downtown fest grounds for the tapping of the golden keg. The annual tradition marks the official opening ceremony for the fest. For a lot of fest goers, the ceremony means much more than that.
You got Christmas, you got Thanksgiving. In La Crosse, Wisconsin, you have the tapping of the golden keg. It's amazing. The entire community comes out. Tons of employers actually give their employees the day off to come on down, tap the keg, and be a part of this amazing tradition.
You might as well call it a holiday. The open till close, the Oktoberfest grounds were filled all weekend with visitors eager to celebrate the Oktoberfest celebration. Well, it's only natural to be excited for all that Oktoberfest has to offer, and each year folks set out to get the best seat in the house for the Maple Leaf Parade. Jane and Bill Binnaboos have been watching the parade since 1979, and now they're watching with 3 generations, their kids, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. The couple says waking up at 5 in the morning the day before the parade is worth all those great memories.
We've seen these same people for years and years and years, enjoying the fest, enjoying their families, coming out here in unity and just having a good time.
And a great family tradition there. The Maple Leaf Parade began at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, where members from News 8 Now even participated in the march. Well, what's Oktoberfest without a little competition? The Lederhosen Games invited festival goers to participate in a little fun over the weekend. Folks played typical games like races and scavenger hunts, as well as festive games like steinholding and a grain toss. Like most Oktoberfest activities, the Lederhosen Games attracted fest goers from all over.
I think it's really amazing because people come from all over La Crosse and also from out of the state just to participate in this celebration. This year, UWL's Recreation Management Department hosted those games.
Well, just south of the fest grounds was another Oktoberfest tradition. Hungry crowds gathered early Friday morning at the La Crosse American Legion for the slicing of the golden brat. Not a crumb was left. This year's fest master says the slicing is as Oktoberfest as you can get.
It's really kind of a big deal. 8 feet long, 75 pounds. It is one of the cool things that makes Oktoberfest Oktoberfest.
The cooking process took hours. Kratz says it was, of course, cooked with love. According to Explore La Crosse, the Oktoberfest celebration generates more than $15 million worth of economic impact. News 8 Now's Rob Romano spoke with vendors and business owners about their sales at Oktoberfest.
When accordion player George Shilps arrived at Oktoberfest on Friday, he was amazed by the crowd.
The line went for miles and miles.
Food vendor Tony Becker of Stumpy's Concessions says this is his 10th year selling at Oktoberfest. He expects to make a profit again this year because of the sheer volume of people.
So far it's going great. Like I said, large crowd came out this morning already to be here, so it's going to be a nice long day.
My interview with Becker got interrupted by his relatives, who also came to Oktoberfest this year.
Everybody's having a good time already.
He's such a good-looking guy. That's my nephew.
Well, in any event, it took about an hour and 15 minutes this morning to enter the Oktoberfest grounds if you didn't have a ticket. Like any other year, people have come from miles around to celebrate. David Haga came from South Dakota.
It feels great. The weather's great. The people are great. We're having a great time.
When it comes to paying to rent a spot at Oktoberfest, food vendor Tanner Remlinger, owner of a small business called the Nut Shack, says for a small space it costs about $700 or $800. On Friday, he said he could feel the community support.
You can tell that La Crosse is definitely behind this event, and a lot of people really enjoy coming here every year.
Explore La Crosse estimates that each visitor at Oktoberfest spends more than $200 each. The organization says this is also a big weekend for local hotels.
Almost at capacity with hotels, and it is a great weekend for occupancy in general in regards to hotel stays.
But for Shilps, the crowds don't signify more money. They're instead more of an opportunity to make an impact with his accordion.
You got to go out and touch lives, and music touches lives.
In La Crosse, Rob Romano, News 8 Now.
Definitely La Crosse's Super Bowl for sure. According to a 2014 UW Whitewater study, La Crosse's Oktoberfest creates at least 200 jobs. Well, the Oktoberfest Parade had a special guest Saturday morning. Governor Tony Evers stopped by La Crosse to get a glimpse at the Oktoberfest fun. We spoke to him just before parade step-off, and the governor, who is running for re-election in November, says he plans to propose legalizing recreational marijuana if elected.
Wisconsin, time after time, have indicated via poll that and referendum that they've had locally that they want recreational marijuana.
Evers says marijuana would be regulated similar to alcohol if it is legalized. The governor was not the only politician who made a visit to La Crosse. Evers' opponent, Republican Tim Michels, was also on the parade route. He says that crowds have been high energy, and he thinks the excitement is about more than just the cool floats and marching bands. The GOP candidate says the excitement shows that voters are ready for a change.
The number one reaction that I get when I'm out on the parade route was, Tim, thank you for running. I am so ready for a change. I don't like the direction of government. I don't like our current governor. He's a weak leader. I'm ready for strong leadership. I'm ready for a governor who's proven to be successful.
Now, as of today, Evers and Michels will only debate once before the November election. That debate is set for Friday, October 14th. Well, the Maple Leaf wouldn't be the same without the annual YMCA Walk Run. It is the 23rd year of the event, and community members are running forward and giving back to health and wellness. Race winners got some new prizes this year as well, and of course the event is part of the Oktoberfest fun, but it is also an important fundraiser for the La Crosse Y.
We're just thankful to all of our sponsors who helped us to put this event on and make it another great year.
The event, which included a half marathon, a 5-mile, and a 5K walk run, began bright and early at 7:15 on Saturday morning. Proceeds from the event will go to year-round programs at the La Crosse YMCA. Well, it's a celebration for everyone. It is the 40th annual Turned Leaf Family Festival at Myrick Park, And the fun included some Oktoberfest classics, brats and hot dogs, plus live music, magic shows, and crafts for kids. The royal family also paid a visit to the event, and this event looks a lot like Oktoberfest, but gives folks the chance to be festive in a different way.
It is an event for those who would just rather have a substance-free celebration of Oktoberfest. In 1982, it was started geared more towards those in recovery, and it has really expanded since then.
About 300 to 400 people celebrate at Turned Leaf each year. Anyone who attends is encouraged to was encouraged to donate, and the proceeds from the event go to the Cooley Recovery Center. Still to come on your Monday morning news, Nike will be discounting several items from clothing to footwear after a recent spike in their inventory. We'll explain and what experts are saying about the adjustments you should make to your TikTok settings to help protect your private information. With that in mind, we are sending you to break with something to put the good in your Monday morning. If you have a furry companion at home, you already know they are a part of your family, and that is why October is National Pet Wellness Month. Dogs and cats age 5 to 7 times faster than people, so it is important for dogs and cats to get wellness exams at least once a year. And if you want to go the extra mile, you could even donate to an animal welfare organization or volunteer a few hours of your time at a rescue or pet clinic. And we've got several amazing resources right here in the Cooley region where you can help out as well. It is 11 after the hour. Your latest forecast is just ahead this Monday morning here on News 8 Now.
I worked in law enforcement for more than 30 years. I know what it takes to keep our community safe. Mandela Barnes stands with Defund the Police and supports no cash bail that releases dangerous criminals back into our communities. Barnes supports sanctuary cities and spending millions of taxpayer dollars on illegal immigrants. Take it from me, the bad guys belong in jail, and Mandela Barnes belongs nowhere near the Senate.
Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning has been providing year-round comfort to thousands of area homes for over 80 years.
But to us, it's more than just heating and cooling. It's about making sure our customer is comfortable every step of the way.
From the people that answer the phones to the technicians that come to your door, you can trust that we'll get the job done right the first time.
That's our goal, whether it's a new installation or a service call, is to make sure you're comfortable.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
At a company, the culture comes from the top. Tim Michaels' company has been sued numerous times over sexual assault and harassment in the workplace. Women who worked for Michaels' company said they were groped, assaulted, and pressured to have sex with their bosses. Higher-ups at Michaels dismissed the women as liars and even fired those who spoke out. Is that what we need for Wisconsin? Tim Michaels, too radical, too divisive.
Transportation, food supply, everything is going carbon-free. At Excel Energy, we see it too. Eco-friendly car washes, carbon-free search engines, and all that clean energy needs clean energy. The same reliable, more affordable energy that powers your home. This is how the future is made.
Ron Johnson's at it again, lying about my taxes. Let's be clear, my taxes are paid in full, but there were times I was getting by on peanut butter sandwiches. And that's why I support a tax cut for the middle class. Put more money in your pockets, because I know how hard you work. But Johnson used his Senate seat to write a loophole that gave huge tax cuts to himself and his biggest donors, leaving us with crumbs. And that's how we get left behind. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Why are we the clear choice for new windows?
A 5-star customer experience. Our exclusive Weather Guardian installation system ensures your windows are weather tight. Windows installed by factory-trained employees, not subcontractors. Windows that are 1,500% more airtight than industry standards. Foam-filled frames and sashes. The most efficient triple pane glass in the industry.
For a limited time, receive 24 months interest-free financing.
City Cam 8 looking quiet out there for us this morning. Temperature is into the 40s further east in Volkfield and Black River Falls. The rest of us mainly into the 50s as you head out the door this morning. Your zone forecast today in La Crosse County looks like this, with high temperatures warming up into the 70s for the most part. It'll be 71 in Bangor and 71 today as well in West Salem, 72 to the north in Mindoro, 71 in Soldiers Grove, 68 in Viroqua today, 71 this afternoon in Lansing. As we head central now, 71 today in Black River Falls, 70 in Sparta this afternoon, and 70 and mostly sunny in Blair here today. 71 in Chippewa Falls, but 71 and partly cloudy here for Eau Claire this afternoon. Augusta looking at 70 degrees. As you head out the door for your bus stop this morning, 55 degrees and partly cloudy, 67 by the lunch hour. Skies will remain partly cloudy around the afternoon for dismissal. Temperatures warming up to about 70 degrees. I'll be back with your weather forecast coming up just a bit.
United Airlines is pausing service at New York's JFK Airport at the end of October. The action comes just weeks after the airline threatened to pull service from the airport if the FAA did not give it additional slots. The airline says the halt in service is temporary but won't say how long it will last. It comes as the busy winter travel season is about to begin, but United says its schedule at JFK remains too small to remain competitive. Customers who have tickets on United involving JFK after October 29th will be rebooked. Nike apparently has too much inventory, and that's good news for consumers. The apparel brand is cutting prices in its stores in an effort to free up shelf space. Last Thursday, Nike said its inventory levels soared 65% in North America, which is its largest market. Nike plans to discount the items that are now out of season. It will now move clothing to its own factory stores, promote them online, and sell more to discount stores like TJ Maxx. It is one of the hottest apps around. TikTok's videos are seen around the world, and users can't seem to get enough of it. But what personal information are you sharing with TikTok, and how can you protect yourself online? Consumer Reports reveals the TikTok privacy settings you should adjust right now.
Whether you're new to TikTok or you've been watching videos for years, Consumer Reports says it might be time to think about adjusting the app's default privacy settings. Start with who can see your profile.
So setting your whole TikTok account to private is a great way to get a little bit more control over who can see the stuff on your profile.
While TikTok is a social media company, it makes its money through advertising, just like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Something that's really valuable for tech companies is building out a huge network of everyone that you know, your friends, your family, your coworkers, and they present it as a way for you to find your acquaintances on TikTok, which can be great, but it also gives the tech companies a lot of information about you, and you might not want to do that.
To make sure the app doesn't have access to your contacts or Facebook friends, toggle those settings off. And just above that setting, you can tell TikTok not to suggest your account to your contacts, Facebook friends, and others. That is, if you're not interested in having followers on the platform. TikTok and other companies use more than just information about your friends and family for their targeted ad campaigns.
So you might not realize it, but TikTok has code spread all over the internet on websites and apps to collect data about things you do when you're not on TikTok. Now, there's nothing you can do to stop that entirely, but you can use a setting to control whether TikTok can use that data for targeted ads, and that's a good idea to protect your privacy.
And to protect yourself from hackers, not only on TikTok, but other apps as well, CR says one of the most important things you can do is set up multi-factor authentication.
That's that thing where they send you a code, right, through a text or an email. So you need not only your password, but also access to your phone or your email account to get in.
It's that extra layer of security that does a lot to keep the bad guys out.
Consumer Reports says although these settings will help, you can never expect total privacy when you're using social media.
Waking up to a few clouds out there this morning, 53 degrees and a southeast wind at 6 miles an hour. A little bit warmer here downtown, 55 degrees with a 4.9-foot river stage measurement currently. Let's take a look down at your almanac yesterday. It was 72 degrees. Felt nice here, especially if you're out in the parades. 53 was the low yesterday morning as well, keeping us above those averages this time of year. For today, I'm expecting very similar readings. As a matter of fact, it'll be 72 again this afternoon. Forecast load this morning about 53, keeping us yet above average here yet again. Temperature readings to the east are into the 40s now. It's 46 in Volkfield and 48 in Black River Falls, 50 in Sparta, 54 degrees. Good morning to you in Winona. 55 is the current temperature in Eau Claire. But my forecast highs today will rise into the low 70s this afternoon. I'm expecting La Crosse at 72 and Winona to be at 71 degrees. Pretty cloudy outside right now with a couple of light sprinkles here moving to the south from the north across the area. And all the moisture content is really all thanks to this developing low pressure system. And you can see it does have a cold front on the tail end of the system as well, packing some rain showers across portions of central and eastern South Dakota. That activity will have implications on our weather pattern come later this week, which we'll get to here in a second. Partly cloudy conditions throughout the day today with temperatures at 54 at 7, 65 at noon today, and then we warm up to 70 degrees as we head towards 5, with increasing clouds likely heading into this evening as the system begins to track towards the east. And we'll be under the influence of a south wind as we head throughout the day tomorrow as well. That should help keep our temperatures warm here for us. And you can see as we head into the day on Wednesday, as that system inches closer to us, we will be expecting that southerly wind out ahead of it and driving in some more moisture. And we could be looking at some scattered shower activity as well as we head into Wednesday afternoon. That's the reason why our rain chances are expected to go up at just a little bit into Wednesday, up to at least about 30% for a chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms, and then mainly cloudy but much chillier here behind the system on Thursday, followed by highs into the 50s as we head not only Thursday but also into Friday and Saturday of this week as well. So getting much colder behind that system, which is going to bring us a cold front too, and then we warm back up into the 60s Sunday and into early next week as well, with the skies also clearing out. But stay with us though, we'll have much more news and weather still to come right here on News 8 Now this morning. For now though, we're sending you to break with a look at what happened on this day in history. We'll be right back.
Ladies, are you tired of the same old happy hour? How about buy one, get one free margaritas? Join us for fun and fiesta on Adelita Wednesdays, only at Senor Villa. Authentic Mexican food and flavor.
Meet Brad Paff. He never had a job outside of politics. Seriously, he hung around long enough to climb that political ladder. He'll never fix Washington. He won't even try. Me, I spent 26 years fighting for our country. I served as a Navy SEAL, and I know how to get things done. I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message. Let's try something different. Let's change the people we're sending to D.C.
Firefighters Credit Union now has credit cards. I know what some of you are thinking. The money man has sold his soul to the devil. Well, not quite. Unlike the big credit card issuers, we don't want you to pay interest. We don't want you to pay late fees. We don't want you to pay over the limit fees. We want you to use our card. If you use it correctly, you'll never pay a dime, and we'll pay you to use it. Are you intrigued? Give us a call and find out more today.
For over 5 decades, Jim's Truck and Trailer in Winona has been your solution for everything transportation related. In 1971, my dad Jim recognized truckers and families needed a reliable partner who will have their vehicle road ready. Still family owned and operated, our mission has never wavered. Whether your ride is a truck and trailer, auto transportator, charter bus, or RV, Jim's Truck and Trailer's fleet of ASC certified technicians can handle any issue or upgrade. Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks, repair, refinish, remarkable.
Long before women could vote, Wisconsin politicians wrote a law that banned abortion and jailed doctors who performed them.
The 1849 law is an exact mirror of my position.
Tim Michaels would ban abortion, even in cases of rape or incest, and send doctors to jail for performing them. It's not 1849 anymore, and while we might not have been able to vote back then, we sure can now.
Make it a family dinner night every Sunday at Senior Villa, where kids eat free, one per adult, open to close. And it's a menu you know they'll love. Senior Villa, authentic Mexican food and flavor in La Crosse and Onalaska.
The 8000 Plus app. Stream on your time.
Some clouds are beginning to increase now across the Coulee region, and a couple of light sprinkles are possible, mainly across our northern central locations as well this morning too. Current temperatures as you head out the door: 50 degrees in Sparta now, 48 in Black River Falls, and 55 in Eau Claire, 53 in La Crosse. Partly cloudy conditions all throughout the day for the dog walking conditions, and everything is looking quiet here as we progress throughout the day as well. Even as we head into your mowing forecast too, this morning at 54 degrees, warming up to 62 at 11, followed by 71 degrees under partly cloudy conditions by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll be back with your commute and your boating forecast a little bit later.
Yesterday was week 4 of the NFL season, and the Packers had the chance to start 3-1 if they could just get a win at home over a Patriots team who didn't even have their starting quarterback. Should be easy enough, right? Well, we jump into the second quarter, Pack down 3. Christian Watson takes the handoff, and Watson has some speed and is going to make it all the way into the end zone for the score. The Packers take a 7-3 lead, and Watson giving the crowd some love with the Lambeau leap. First half coming to a close, Packers trying to squeeze in one more score, but Rodgers is picked off. Jack Jones jumps the route perfectly, and he takes this one back 40 yards for the pick 6, and the Packers go into halftime down 3. All right, second half, Packers driving, and on 2nd and 19, Rodgers hits Robert Tonyan on the post route, and he holds on for the grab and the touchdown. Packers go up 14-10. Brian Hoyer went down, so the Patriots on their 3rd string. Bailey Zappi, and he makes a good throw here to Devontae Parker, who walks in the end zone for the score. Now 17-14 Patriots. Packers now down 7, but Rodgers hits the rookie Romeo Doubs in the end zone, and we're all tied up at 24. And this game makes it into overtime. 4 seconds left in overtime. It's Father Time himself, Mason Crosby, through the uprights. That gives the Packers the walk-off win in Lambeau. All right, and across the pond to London, the Vikings were taking on the Saints at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. First quarter tied at 0. Kirk Cousins finds Alexander Madison on the screenplay. Madison breaks a few tackles and scores. Minnesota strikes first and jump out to a 7-0 lead. First quarter winding down, Cousins looking at the sideline, but it's picked off by Tyrann Mathieu, and it's going the other way. Vikings can't get on the board. 12 plays later, Andy Dalton finds Chris Olave for the score, and it's all tied at 7. All right, skipping ahead to the second half. After a pair of Vikings field goals, they're punting here on 4th down. Deontay Hardy with the return, gonna make one guy miss, but then the ball pops out, and the Vikings recover a huge play by the special teams, but only leading to a field goal. All right, Vikings now trailing in the 4th, but Cousins hands it off to Justin Jefferson. He's gonna walk into the end zone, and of course hits the gritty and gives the Vikings the lead. Vikings up 3, but the Saints with a 61-yard field goal to send it into overtime, but it hits off the uprights, not 1, but 2 doinks, and the Vikings survive in London. All right, that's all I have for the Morning Blitz, but we'll have more post-game coverage later tonight. Have a good day.
Also, big news on Sunday night. Wisconsin has fired Coach Paul Chryst 5 games into the 2022 season. The Badgers part ways with Chryst following a 2-3 start to the season, which included a 34-10 embarrassing home loss to Illinois and former Wisconsin coach Brett Bielema in Week 5. Now, defensive coordinator Jim Leonhard, many see him as an upcoming star. He will serve as Wisconsin's interim coach for the remainder of this season. We'll be right back right after this.
Ron Johnson and China. Here's how it works. While in the Senate, Johnson made $57 million from a family business whose growth was directly linked to China. He invested in Chinese factories, and Johnson's family business got $50 million in loans from the Bank of China. Johnson pushed for shipping American jobs overseas, while he got rich. Ron Johnson's out for himself, not us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
No one goes all in on made-from-scratch freshness like Papa Murphy's. We go all in on quality, all in on craft. And on the Triple Pep Pizza, we go all in on pepperoni. Because when you go all in, people notice. Go all in with a limited-time Triple Pep Pizza, topped with 3 types of pepperoni for just $11.99. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Cracks in brick, cracks in block? Call American Waterworks. Leaning or bowing basement walls? Call American Waterworks. Sticking windows or doors? Call American Waterworks. Settling or sinking foundation? That's right. Call American Water Works. It's a fact. Foundation problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call American Water Works. Call American Water Works today.
Let's be real. Who has the time to clean an hour or two a week? Not us. But a few minutes here or there?
Totally doable.
So we started Swiffering. It's a fast and easy way to clean without the whole production.
For our floors, sweepers heavy-duty cloths trap and lock dirt, dust, and hair without moving furniture. So simple.
And dusters easily get into hard-to-reach places without climbing a stepladder. They trap and lock dust in one swipe. Done.
We stopped cleaning and started Swiffering.
The radical left hate America and riot in our streets. They indoctrinate our children to hate America, stoking fear and envy with their lies and deceptions. Their radical woke agenda and divisive politics are tearing our country apart. Here's Mandela Barnes.
Because the founding of this nation, awful.
Mandela Barnes is a radical leftist. He supports their woke agenda that's causing you and your family so much pain.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Download the News 8000 First Alert Weather app from your app store today.
Breaking overnight, families of at least 125 people killed in a stampede at a soccer game in Indonesia are beginning to bury their loved ones. On Saturday night, fans of the team that lost poured onto the field. Police chased them with batons and tear gas, which is banned under international soccer rules. Pope Francis made an appeal on Sunday to Russian President Vladimir Putin to stop, in his words, the spiral of violence and death in Ukraine, saying the crisis there was risking a nuclear escalation with uncontrollable global consequences. He also addressed Ukraine's president to appeal to Putin about a serious peace proposal. Francis said it was absurd that the world was risking nuclear conflict. A group of Republican-led states are suing the Biden administration over the president's plan to forgive student loan debt. The lawsuit accuses the administration of overstepping its executive powers, but as Natalie Brand explains, the Department of Education is still making plans to accept applications from borrowers.
This action by President Biden will quite literally change and save lives.
While Democratic lawmakers and student groups celebrate President Biden's plan to cancel student debt and call for the Department of Education to quickly implement it,
in reality, the president's actions violate the law and are beyond his authority.
Arkansas's Attorney General, joined by 5 other GOP states, are suing. They want to block the administration's plan to forgive up to $10,000 in student debt for those earning less than $125,000 and up to $20,000 for Pell Grant recipients.
The administration argues that a law passed by Congress, the HEROES Act, allows the White House to act in times of national emergency.
But President Biden is using this law to justify this forgiveness program, with COVID being the national emergency.
Persis Yu of the Student Borrower Protection Center says the Department of Education is still working to release the application for borrowers in October.
There are a lot of lawsuits flying, but the administration is going forward, and so borrowers should get ready to apply for this relief.
But in a change announced Thursday, the Department of Education says borrowers with federal loans owned by private banks will not qualify for the new forgiveness unless they consolidated their loans into the government's direct lending program before Thursday. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
Now, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimated that over the next 3 decades, the administration's program will cost around $400 billion. The Department of Education released its own estimate, saying it would cost around $379 billion. Climate activists in Milwaukee unveiled a life-size sculpture of Senator Ron Johnson made out of manure. The organizations Next Gen PAC and Move On argue the Republican hasn't done enough to help Wisconsin communities affected by climate change. Johnson's campaign issued a statement in response, saying Mandela Barnes and his defund the police liberal allies have left Wisconsin hurting from a violent crime epidemic, a 40-year high inflation, and while offering no solutions, just more BS political stunts, end quote. A new poll from AARP shows Republican candidates leading the race for Wisconsin governor and the U.S. Senate. People over the age of 50 make up 55% of registered voters. Pollsters for AARP say 50-plus voters are mostly concerned about the economy and inflation. The poll shows 90% of voters over the age of 50 are extremely motivated to vote in the November election.
They're very, competitive. They lean a bit more Republican than voters under the age of 50. They currently favor, Michaels by a 5-point margin in the race for governor. They favor Johnson by a 7-point margin over Barnes in the race for Senate.
The poll found 84% of voters in that age group would be more likely to vote for a candidate who will protect Social Security from cuts. The mother of the Wisconsin man accused of killing 6 people and injuring dozens more after driving his SUV into a Christmas parade in 2021 is speaking out. Dawn Wood says Darrell Brooks should be in a mental institution and not allowed to represent himself in court. Bruce Harrison talks to her about it.
In 8 handwritten pages, Woods made her plea as a mother to the court.
Why did you decide to write that letter?
I wanted to help Darrell. I knew that he was not mentally capable of presenting himself as his own attorney.
Woods agreed to speak with us provided we not show her face. She says she's received threats since her son was accused in the Waukesha Christmas parade attack.
What has led to Darrell's behavior?
His mental illness, not being medicated.
Woods says her son should be in a mental hospital, but Brooks withdrew his insanity plea earlier this month. And just this week, a judge decided Brooks is articulate and intelligent enough to represent himself.
And he always says, Mama, I'm fighting for my life. And I said, I know that, baby. But we have to look at reality for what it is.
What is it?
I said, you did do what they said you did, even though it wasn't intentional, but you did, and you're going to have to go to prison.
Darrell's not an attorney. How do you think he's going to handle the proceedings?
And I hate to say this, you're going to see manic, full blown. That's what you're going to see.
Are you going to try and talk to him before the trial?
If he calls me, I will. I tried talking to him on Tuesday again.
Woods says she won't be attending her son's trial. She already knows the verdict and what her son did.
Chance to say anything to the families impacted by this?
I have written a letter to the families, and again, I give my condolences. My heart goes out to each of them. I ask God to give them strength. I ask God to give them peace and comfort them.
Brooks' trial begins today, and he will be responsible for jury selection, opening and closing statements, and examining witnesses. Well, there are signs of progress, but test scores for Wisconsin grade school students also shows declines since the coronavirus pandemic and constant gaps. The State Department of Public Instruction released math and language arts scores for grades 3 through 8. The results showed in 2022, fewer than half of Wisconsin students were considered proficient. It's a Midwestern way to fight hunger. The Trumbull County Helping Out Hunger program provides community members with free venison. When a deer is killed by a driver, the Trumbull County Dispatch Center will call people who have signed up for the program to come pick the deer up. The program is in its 6th year, and just like deer harvested by hunters, all collected deer must be registered with the DNR. If you would like to be on the list, you can call the Trumbull County Dispatch Center.
I think it's a great way to help the community again, and it's a no-cost thing to the community, and just one of those services we provide.
And just like deer harvested by hunters, they must be registered by the DNR, as we mentioned. And again, you can call the Trumbull County Dispatch Center for more information. Well, UW-La Crosse is helping patients fight cancer one blanket at a time. Members of the co-ed Delta Sigma Pi fraternity made the blankets and cards. They handed them out to cancer patients at Mayo Clinic Health System. According to fraternity leaders, giving back to the community is one of their top priorities.
We really just want to make sure that, our presence is felt in the community, that we can help people, and that's kind of what we do, like I said, as an organization, and hopefully continuing to work with Mayo Clinic moving forward.
The donation is part of the Greek Life Group's service project. Because so many students volunteered, it only took an hour to deliver all those blankets and cards.
Well, this morning we are waking up to a bit of cloudy skies here this morning with a couple of light sprinkles here moving across portions of our central and northern zones. In the meantime, as you head out the door, we're in the 40s. Black River Falls and Volkfield both around 46 to 47 degrees. The rest of us mainly into the 50s as you head out the door. Today's forecast 72 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and overall pretty mild day to work with. South-southeast winds at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. For tonight, 48 degrees, cloudier skies, and overall a seasonable night in terms of the temperatures, readings at around 48, and south-southeast winds at around 5 to 10 miles an hour as well. Boating forecast 65 at noon today, 71 feeling good there at 3 o'clock, partly cloudy skies. 6 p.m. still looking partly cloudy with temperatures at 68 degrees. Partly cloudy conditions continue here for your drivecast throughout the morning. Same for your lunch hour and also into your evening commute as well. I'll be back with a final check on your full weather forecast coming up in just a bit. Jordan?
Thanks a lot, Derek. Well, Shaq is known as an NBA star, but for his charity, he decided to show off his vocals. After the break, we'll tell you what special occasion encouraged him to do so.
Did you know Tim Michaels wants to criminalize abortion, even for pregnant rape victims?
But are you willing to support exceptions for rape or incest?
That's correct. Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
One of the most frustrating things I see is married folks letting money fights ruin their relationship. The reason this happens is because they're simply not on the same page. They're not on the same team. Money management is a team sport. If you want to learn more about money management, come see me, both of you. I'll be the bad guy. I'll be the referee and get you on track.
Ron Johnson and China. Here's how it works. While in the Senate, Johnson made $57 million from a family business whose growth was directly linked to China. He invested in Chinese factories, and Johnson's family business got $50 million in loans from the Bank of China. Johnson pushed for shipping American jobs overseas, while he got rich. Ron Johnson's out for himself, not us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Nice isn't weak, or cliche, or naive. Nice makes someone smile, or makes someone's day. And that's a powerful thing. At Western National Insurance, nice is what's guided us for over 100 years. And we're just getting started. Western National Insurance, the power of nice.
Ron Johnson's at it again, lying about my taxes. Let's be clear, my taxes are paid in full. But there were times I was getting by on peanut butter sandwiches. And that's why I support a tax cut for the middle class. Put more money in your pockets. Because I know how hard you work. But Johnson used his Senate seat to write a loophole and gave huge tax cuts to himself and his biggest donors, leaving us with crumbs. And that's how we get left behind. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Bright Star gives me a fulfilling feeling that I can give these clients the one-on-one care in order to keep them in their home. I definitely would recommend Bright Star for anyone, even if you're not a CNA, just to come in and, especially if you're interested in the healthcare field, and have a willing heart and a giving heart, come in and you'll find that you really enjoy these clients. You just get to know them.
Did you know Tim Michaels wants to criminalize abortion, even for pregnant rape victims?
But are you willing to support exceptions for rape or incest?
That's correct.
Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
Partly cloudy conditions out there now. Temperatures at 53 degrees in La Crosse, a bit warmer downtown at 55 degrees. Our river stage is at 4.95 feet and rising this morning. Yesterday, hey, that was a pretty mild day. It was feeling nice, 72 degrees. Yesterday at the parades, low temperature was 53 degrees. So that put us above the normal averages here for this time of the year. As far as today goes, we're expecting basically rinse and repeat with high of 72 and a low of 53, putting us yet above the average high yet again of 68 and above that average high of 47. Our sunset tonight will be around 6:42 p.m. this evening. Temperatures off towards the east are mainly into the 40s. Black River Falls at 46, Volkfield's at 46 degrees, 53 in La Crosse and 54 the temperature in Winona, 55 currently in Eau Claire. High temperatures today will rise into the low 70s, expecting 71 today in Black River Falls, 69 though in Volkfield, and 72 degrees in Eau Claire. Got some cloudy skies moving in now across the Cooley region, a couple of light sprinkles as well, moving towards the southeast across our central and northern zones for us this morning. But if we widen out the view, you can see all that moisture really is associated with this developing system back towards the west, containing cloud cover and rain showers. In fact, some of the heavier showers are positioned across South Dakota, and this activity is expected to affect our weather here later this week, which we'll get to here in just a bit. 54 degrees, partly cloudy skies by 7, and the rest of the day is looking similar. Partly cloudy conditions, 65 degrees at noon, followed by 70 at 5, and cloudier skies with cooler temperatures are on the way as we head into the early evening hours. So getting back to that system back to the west, it's going to continue to strengthen and move in our direction, increase in the cloud cover for us to work with, especially as we head into the day tomorrow. But it's really not until about Wednesday afternoon where that system inches closer, increasing the moisture. Therefore, we will be looking at some spotty scattered showers here as a potential in the forecast as we head into later in the day, Wednesday afternoon, and potentially once again as we head into Wednesday night. And that is why our rain chances will go up here just a bit to 30% at least for Wednesday. Chillier and colder conditions by the end of the week behind that system as our temperatures will drop into the 50s behind it as well. And we look to be clearing out as far as the sky coverage goes for Friday and also into the weekend. We will be looking at warmer temperatures though on the way for Monday and Tuesday as highs climb back up into the mid to upper 60s as well.
In our Buzz Report this morning, here is an odd musical pairing, Maroon 5 and Shaquille O'Neal. It was the finale of a star-studded celebrity gala for the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation in Las Vegas, which raised more than $3.2 million for the Boys and Girls Club and communities in schools in Vegas and Atlanta. Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy, and Sarah Jessica Parker bless us, or should I say curse us, as the Sanderson sisters in the film Hocus Pocus 2, 3 decades after the original, with what's widely considered the official film for the spooky season. Hocus Pocus 2 is now available on Disney+. With that in mind, we've got some birthdays to celebrate this morning, Derek.
Yeah, that's right, Jordan. I want to wish a happy 8th birthday to Priya, as she loves simming, horses, her hamster Snowball, and dog Jet.
Happy birthday to Mick this morning. He is turning 8 today. He loves to play football, go water skiing, and go fishing.
And happy birthday to Phyllis. She is turning 80 this morning. She enjoys music, traveling and is known to be incredibly giving.
Happy birthday to everybody this morning. Of course, if you missed it last week, we announced some exciting news. Look Who's 8 is expanding its age range, so we now have 18 added to our list of birthday shout-outs.
Yeah, so if you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80 years old, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Yeah, let us know. Just upload their photo right to our website. Look for the Submit Pictures button right under the Home tab at news8000.com. Well, we hope you can stay with us. We've got everything you need to know this morning in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is up next.
Beat the winter rush and schedule your HVAC clean and check from Bagnevsky Heating and Air Conditioning today. Be confident in your trusted trained comfort specialist and keep your family warm this winter.
Your trained comfort specialist, Bagnevsky.
They're destroying America and our livelihoods. Now, DC elites are spending big on Brad Paff. The same Beltway bigwigs who wasted taxpayer money that bailed out elite golf courses and luxury hotels are now bankrolling Brad Paff's campaign because Brad Paff supported their big spending, price-hiking, reckless schemes. And that's why we can't send him to Washington. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
What is fall in Prairie du Chien like? Stunning. Fun. Historical. Traditional. Tasty. Fall in Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin is just about as perfect as it looks. We'll see you in Prairie du Chien.
Derek Van Orden, former U.S. Navy SEAL. Over 20 years of active duty, defending America in hostile territory. 5 combat tours, hundreds of missions, sea, air, and land. Now, he's on the most important no-fail mission of his life.
Saving America for my grandchildren and yours.
Grandpa, we're just going to the park.
Yes, we are. You guys ready? Yeah! Derek Van Orden and I approve this mission and this message.
At Schwabel, Getz & Sieben, our most important value is our commitment to our clients.
I chose Schwabel, Getz & Sieben because from the start I could tell that they cared about me.
After my initial conversation with Jim, I was immediately at ease. I knew that I was going to be in great hands.
They took the worry off my shoulders.
They listened to me, and I knew that I could trust them.
Representing accident victims for over 40 years, Schwabel, Getz & Sieben.
Fantastic firm, fantastic people. They stood behind me 100%.
Violent crime up across Wisconsin. Families nervous about their safety. Yet Mandela Barnes called for releasing half of Wisconsin's jailed inmates. That would mean releasing over 10,000 criminals right into our neighborhoods. 10,000 reasons your family would be in more danger. Barnes also supported defunding the police. 10,000 more criminals with fewer police to protect us. What could go wrong? Wisconsin Truth Bank is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Coulee region winters can be tough, but the team at Bagnevsky Heating and Air Conditioning have you covered. Beat the rush and schedule your clean and check today. Bagnevsky Heating and Air Conditioning.
Your trained comfort specialist, Bagnevsky.
The 8000 Plus app. Stream on your time.
Your morning news now on this Monday. The Oktoberfest Parade had a special guest on Saturday morning. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers stopped by La Crosse to get a glimpse at the Oktoberfest fun. We spoke to him just before parade step-off, and the governor, who is running for re-election in November, says he plans to propose legalizing recreational marijuana if elected. Evers says marijuana would be regulated similar to alcohol if it is legalized. The governor was not the only politician who paid a visit. Evers' opponent, Republican Tim Michels, was also on the parade route. He says that crowds have been high energy, but he thinks the excitement is about more than just the cool floats and marching bands. The GOP candidate says the excitement shows that voters are ready for a change.
The number one reaction that I get when I'm out on the parade route was, Tim, thank you for running. I am so ready for a change. I don't like the direction of government. I don't like our current governor. He's a weak leader. I'm ready for strong leadership. I'm ready for a governor who's proven to be successful.
Evers and Michels will only debate once before the November election. That debate is set for Friday, October 14th. A new poll from AARP shows Republican candidates leading the race for Wisconsin governor and U.S. Senate. People over the age of 50 make up 55% of registered voters. Pollsters for AARP say 50-plus voters are mostly concerned about the economy and inflation. The poll shows 90% of voters over the age of 50 are extremely motivated to vote in the November election.
Partly cloudy conditions as you head out the door this morning. Temperatures warm up into the mid-50s by 7, and it looks like that trend continues through 9, followed by the 60s between around 11 and 1. And then later this afternoon, partly cloudy still with temperatures in the low 70s.
This year marked the 61st La Crosse Oktoberfest, and thousands of eager fest goers rushed down to the fest grounds downtown for the tapping of the Golden Keg. The annual tradition marks the official opening ceremony, but for a lot of festers, this ceremony means much more than that.
You got Christmas, you got Thanksgiving. In La Crosse, Wisconsin, you have the tapping of the Golden Keg. It's amazing. The entire community comes out. Tons of employers actually give their employees the day off to come on down, tap the keg, and be a part of this amazing tradition.
You might as well call it a holiday. The downtown fest grounds were filled with fest goers from beginning to end. Well, it's only natural to be excited for all that Oktoberfest has to offer, and each year folks set out to get the best seat in the house for the Maple Leaf Parade. Jane and Bill Binnaboos have been watching the parade since 1979, and now they watch with 3 generations, their kids, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. The couple says waking up at 5 in the morning the day before the parade is worth all of those great memories.
We've seen these same people for years and years and years, enjoying the fest, enjoying their families, coming out here in unity and just having a good time.
The Maple Leaf Parade began at 10 in the morning on Saturday, where members from even News 8 Now participated in the march.
As you head out the door today, you can expect temperatures to be in the 50s around 8, 65 degrees at noon, 70 and partly cloudy at 5. Our high today should be about 72 with a south-southeast breeze helping to keep us mild 5 to 10 miles an hour.
Well, don't forget to keep up with the news of the day at news8000.com. And of course, we'll have the latest coming up on News 8 Now at noon. CBS Mornings follows us here. We'll see you right back here tomorrow at 5 a.m. and we hope you have a great day.